Hey everybody, hope you guys doing all right. Sorry about my voice. I think I'm fighting off a little bit of a little cold or something. I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but I'm feeling much better today, so that's good. And I need to clarify some things because okay, so I watched a couple of things last night, which kind of reset my trajectory. Sorry, I just got a lot of ugh. So I watched a dude. I am Coach Colin. He's a dude I've been subscribed to him for a while, and I like him. And he did a very thorough video about just the movements of Antifa, BLM, LGBTQ. And I have no offense against any people that are really truly trying to represent their cause that they feel is good and in a good way. But it's under his opinion, and I haven't looked too deep into these organizations, but I've felt, at least to a certain degree, that they're associated in some type of a way with a nefarious agenda. And I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, the BLM, one of the co-founders or the leader, something like that, some sort of that, some individual like that. It's been shown that they took a lot of their money and they just spent it on, just personal shit, not the actual movement. So, anyways, there is potentially some evidence, if I'm not mistaken, to support that, at least with the BLM is concerned, that they are, essentially kind of corrupt. Excuse me. So anyways, he did a video on that, but then he started getting into because the whole reason why he did all these things is because he was paying attention to, this is something that I've heard a little bit about, but I haven't decided to jump too deep into it just because, I don't know, I didn't think it was that big of a deal. But especially with me in Portland, excuse me, it's a big deal. So it's what's going on with these colleges. And there's this, again, I don't, the pro-Palestine Israel, like, I'm not on either side of anything like that. I'm not trying to, like, pick sides or anything like that. But what I am seeing is people that are protesting in a way that's destroying other people. I mean, they're actually acting like terrorists. And like, the energy that come off some of these people is just like, I'm gonna be real with you, like, menacing. like some of these dudes, that they cover their faces, like, they're pretty much all covered up because sometimes you can't even see their eyes. And they're literally using, like, intimidation type tactics and, like, military-esque tactics to fucking protest. And so it's not even like a real protest. It's more like a terrorist, movement, in my opinion. Like, they're spreading fear, like running around, like, with that menacing aura and that energy, and, like, like running up on people that are filming and just being curious and asking questions and, like, giving them menacing looks, like they're gonna try to, like, they're like threatening looks. To be honest with you, that's the type of things I got from this one individual. Pretty sure it happened here in Portland. So anyways, I saw that, and then I watched the new Joe Rogan with Tucker Carlson, and they talked about all different types of things, but one of them was just like how people today, especially in colleges, they've just been brainwashed to such a high degree that they're not even aware that they're being brainwashed. And that's the most effective way to really, like, when I say brainwash, it's more like brain manipulation, because to really wash is to clean something up. So they're not really brainwashed, isn't the right terminology. It's more of a mind manipulation. And the most effective way to manipulate somebody is for them to not to know they're being manipulated, right? Because if they know, then they're gonna be like, what the fuck are you doing? But see, the way that these colleges have got it constructed, and with social media too. And then I watched another video earlier yesterday talking about how, I didn't realize this too, but I guess even YouTube content creators, like, once you get to a certain level of popularity, certain organizations, reach out to these young individuals and try to integrate them into their way of doing things. They have them go to, like, Eyes Wide Shut parties, and they integrate them into a whole ritual of perpetuating sin, and also going against their beliefs. That's why, like, they have different rooms they go to. It's crazy. Y'all might have seen it, but I guess there's different rooms at this particular party. There's different rooms that this individual went to. He was a young content creator, and he received an envelope, a very, like, elaborate looking envelope in the mail, talking about going to this party, and he received it from some gentleman who saw something special in him and his friend. I guess is what the dude said. It was a very brief encounter, if I'm not mistaken. And they both received this envelope, and they both decided to go to this party, I believe in the Hollywood Hills. I also read a novel, I think it was by Dean Koontz, about the Hollywood Hills and the crazy shit that goes on up there. Now, it was just a novel, so it wasn't based on facts, but after listening to this dude talk about the party that he witnessed with his own eyes, and I think he was telling the truth, because, I mean, my intuition was telling that he was telling the truth, and then it's based on everything else that you've seen, like Eyes Wide Shut, this book that's being read, what I know about Hollywood, what other people have spoken about certain aspects of Hollywood, all the patterns seem to be, the dots seem to be connecting. So, but anyways, it was essentially about, I want to get back to this ritual. It was this ritual of them going into each one of these different rooms, and they were all associated with a different color. And that whatever the color was, like the blue room was, I think it was largely about sex. The orange room was largely about just eating too much, like just overindulgence. And then they had like a room where they were like talking about all the bad things about each other, like the truth of how they really felt, and the jealousy and the hate and the envy. Like, and then there's a room where they had people like they had like the Bible, the Quran, different religious books that are representing most of the majority of people are going to believe in one or the other of these religious doctrines, and they would have them come up and denounce essentially these books by saying that they are God. And it's just like, I'm looking at this and like, this is a whole ritual to get people away from their own beliefs and to make them, but they're doing it in a way that makes them feel like they're actually being empowered, because part of the God ritual, like putting the hands on the books and making them, you know, essentially move away from their current or previous beliefs or the beliefs that they came to the party with, is by them saying that they are their own God. And it's like, okay, by doing that, you're saying that you created all this shit. You don't need these other doctrines, these other books, these other pieces of information to help guide you. And then I think that's the last, or it's one of the last rooms. The dude got kicked out of the party because he started feeling extremely uncomfortable, which I would have too. But that might have been the last room that he saw. And then he witnessed some stuff through a fucking stained glass window. He witnessed his friend who decided to stay along with the party, and he witnessed his friend doing some really fucked up shit, from what he said. So anyways, I don't know exactly what all the rooms, you know, all the different types of things they did, but essentially it's a ritual to get them to just like fall in love and perpetuate and like just spiritually attach themselves strongly, or, you know, just develop more of a relationship with their sinful side and all the different sides too. So it's like people who don't even like, and you're doing it around a bunch of people too who are all like doing the same thing, and a lot of these people are for famous celebrities and shit, and it's like you can't, like, they have masks on just like in the movie Eyes Wide Shut, so you can't see the whole person, but you can see enough to kind of get like, oh, that's enough of a face with everything else going on, this body type to like, I know that's the dude from that like they're able to still recognize these celebrities, but not completely, because it's, you know, I mean, not enough to like to have actual proof, but enough to like to recognize them. Like if you're very familiar with movies growing up and shit like that, you're gonna be able to tell if that's, you know, a certain celebrity just even from the little bit of face that you can see. That's what he said, and I can agree too. Like, you know, there's certain, just like you can the body type, like their size, like the facial structures, and like, you know, just things like that. And then it's like you're at this type of party, you hear them speak a certain way. It isn't that hard to be, oh, there's only so many people, you know, So anyways, I'm getting lost in the track here. My point is, upon seeing all these things, but what really got me going was what's happening with these colleges. And then like these groups that seem to be more nefarious, they're all wearing masks, and it's like they look just like terrorists, bro. Like, I'm just being real with you. They're looking like, and they also looking like criminals too. A lot of times criminals, they cover their face up because they don't want to be identified, and it takes away from the human-esque nature of conversations and communication and just being, you know, involved in each other when you can't see their face. Like, it makes them feel like rather non-human, actually. And I think when they do that, it's also like for the perpetrators, they don't feel as perhaps like they might not feel as personally involved or responsible because they're hiding behind a mask. So it's like, you don't even know who I am type, kind of like on the internet when people like to talk shit about people because they're not actually in the same room as that person. I think it's a similar type of mind frame that goes into people that choose to wear those masks, as long as they're just wanting to protect their identity from being, you know, charged with crimes, and then also to perpetuate more fear. So upon seeing all this shit, and then hearing about, you know, Joe Rogan and Tucker Carlson having a very good conversation about how they're seeing that the youth is especially being like just targeted in a way to where they don't even know how to think for themselves, and they're just going along with the type of shit that they see going along, because a lot of these people are lonely. They want to go along with trends. They don't know how to think for themselves, and they've been grown up with a phone that they're able to access all this information from all these influential people